Guys, what is up? It is Doug, and welcome to another edition of Spooky Villages, and it's great to see you all. I hope you're having a nice winter. Hope you have a nice spring. We're getting closer to the the Spooky Village season. Once we hit the the early summer months there, early mid-summers when all the buildings come out. Looking forward to going at it, hot and heavy as always. Kind of enjoying my off season here, but while I've not really been posting on YouTube, I have been posting a bunch of written articles on my Patreon page. I try and write at least one every week, talking about different buildings for the upcoming year, random topics. It's a lot of fun talking to everybody on there, and I'm enjoying writing on there the posts. So I'm here today to talk about the brand new for 2025 Halloween lineup from FG Square Villages. They just put everything up on their website, so I thought it'd be fun to go through them and go through the product photos and check them out, and let's do some first impressions, basically kind of like with Lemax Spooky Town and Department 56 when they announced things. So FG Square has 12 new pieces up on their website. No video as of right now, the recording of this, just pictures and description. So we will take a look at those in a moment. Just as a kind of a generality, the FG Square, you can order them online, but you can find them in Menards stores if Menards are around you. I'm here in the Midwest, and we have Menards. They're very popular stores. We can get a bunch of stuff there. And in previous years here, the last couple, FG Square Villages has had a big display at Menards. And as for the pieces themselves, some generalities. The finish on these is a little bit darker than what you'd find on like a Lemax or Department 56. They're also just generally a little bit bigger from what I've seen. I'm not sure how these will be, but on the whole, that's kind of what they've been. You can watch a video that I did last year of the Cycloptic Manor, that house, if you want to see me discuss one of the buildings in depth. So we'll start with Door of Doom. I think this one would kind of work with Cycloptic Manor because it's got that monster house vibe. There's a trick-or-treater here, and obviously this would work as a trick-or-treat house because it could look like a very, overly decorated house. But the way that this big head on the outside and the face with those teeth looks like it's sort of embedded into the house gives it that monster house, that monstrous house, like twisted storybook type house. It kind of adds to that, the vibe for it. And while the person outside, could be dressed up, they look like a ghoul or a zombie outside. And of course you have the kid that's the trick-or-treater that's walked up to it. So again, you can go either or a trick-or-treat house for this or like a monstrous house. I think it looks more monstrous than me. And the lighting on this one, I'm going to assume is going to be really good. You have the green lights on top, the lights inside of the face there. It looks like they're going to be red. It should look very spooky. This is the one that I am most interested in purchasing myself, and there's a good chance you're going to see a video of it this summer on my channel, a full review. Up next, Fire Demon Frenzy. So this one is also extremely interesting because of kind of what this is and with the color scheme. It says that the flames are going to be glowing. I would assume it's going to kind of do that like pulse lighting that Lemax does. Again, I don't have a video of it here, so I'm just going off what the website says, but I'd assume that's what it's going to be. So you're going to have those, the flames pulsing. You can kind of see where the bulbs will be from this picture, at least what I'm assuming that would be. I could be wrong. But it looks like there's going to be a lot of light because of the fire. And you have these little demons that are out there, and they look very colorful. And then the house itself is like a teal and purple. It looks very storybookish. And again, kind of works in a monster house type of vibe to where this doesn't really look like a decorated house, right? It looks like something that, it looks like it's on fire, I guess. But it would work in that monster house kind of vibe. I think that this one's really interesting because of that coloring on it. I like that it's really bright to where some of these buildings have a tendency, even though the lights can be bright, the buildings can kind of have a tendency to be dark and or have a darker just finish. In general, they all look a little weathered. This one though looks much brighter, at least in the pictures, than the other ones, and I think the theming on it is pretty unique. And I think that FG Square works best when their themes are a little bit, a little bit more unique. Per se, and I think that this one will probably be a good seller for them, assuming that it shows well in person because it is more unique. At least that's my opinion on it. So I think this one is really cool. Maybe you'll see a review of this one. This one's going to depend on what I think it's like in person. Here we have the Pumpkin Ale Distillery, and this one here apparently has sounds on it to go with the lighting, and it looks like it's going to be primarily purple and green, which will fit in with a lot of the Lemax stuff. You know, Lemax has done a lot of breweries and bars, those type of a thing, even distilleries, and this one would work with that. The only thing is the scale of this one with the pumpkins and everything looks maybe like it would be a little big with that figurine on the front. Again, not totally sure on that. Would need to see it in person, but I do like the motif of this in general. I like these type of buildings. I think this one looks cool. It looks a little more traditional with all those pumpkins that are out there. Again, the pumpkins being, you know, some of them on the outside are probably going to be gigantic. At least they look gigantic in scale to the rest of the building. But I think this one, you know, this theme is a popular one within villaging with the alcohol, like pubs, breweries, distilleries. This would fit in with that. Up next, we have the Webb Barn. This one also apparently has a soundtrack with it. Another, you know, purple and green. The farm is one of my favorite type of themes, like the pumpkin patch. So I have a tendency to, you know, I love those pieces. This one might be added to my collection if it will go with my Lemax or Department 56. But they've done previous farm pieces that I've seen in this line, and the buildings haven't really looked like they would gel very well with the Lemax or Department 56 stuff, so I've shied away. But this one here looks like kind of a legit, like a monster barn, to where the doors and everything here, it looks like a mouth, some spooky eyes kind of in the barn. You have the skeleton out there, and it looks like you even have inside. You have a skeleton too of an animal. So this one looks less realistic, and it looks more, like legit monstrous. There's also, it looks like some spider web on there. It'll be interesting to see what this one looks like in person. Up next, we have the Monster Clubhouse. So another one, this one has LEDs, and it says it has sound effects too, which it looks like another one. This is purple and green. It looks like purple and green is kind of the big thing this year outside of the demon house with all the fire. But I like the design of these monsters. They look like, like Beetlejuice-ish. I don't really know what I would theme it with, though. Again, with the theme of the clubhouse here, I'm not really sure exactly what it would work with, but I do like what it looks like. I like the style of the monsters. Here we have the Black Cat Bakery. So this one, there's no soundtrack here. It's just lights. Again, it looks like purple and green, keeping with that theme here. The baker out there, the Black Cat, that is a very scary look. It'll be interesting to see how big this piece actually is, like what the scale of it compared to others are. Because again, this looks like more of a monster, the monster neighborhood versus something that's realistic. It looks like that's where they're going heavy at, this year. I like the details here, though. The cat eyes that are in the actual, siding of the house. You have which looks like teeth on the awning. Of course, as mentioned, the cat outside there, the baker cat, looks very scary. Then those ears are very pronounced. So black cats are popular. It'll be interesting to see what the actual scale of this is compared to some other buildings and how the proportions are on this one. Here we have the Death Valley Mine. And this one here it's not listed as a soundtrack. It says it has flickering lights. Looks like, again, purple and green here from what I see just in this, but it looks like there's a lot of them. This is reminiscent of a lot of the classic Lemax Spooky Town pieces when they seem to have a lot of like the mine type stuff and, recent pieces too, like Skull Cave Quarry. This would jive with those. The one thing on the front here, the miner who's sitting there, it'll be interesting to see again what the scale of this piece is. It looks like it's going to be a bigger piece. If that's the case, that miner on the outside of it in the front there looks like he could be really big. So that's where it's great seeing these in person if you can. But I like the look of this one, and it reminds me of some of the classic pieces from yesteryear, to where it seemed like we got some different mines and things like that. So it's cool to see something, that goes along with it. And of course, we have had stuff like Skull Cave Quarry from Lemax that it could be themed with, potentially for that too. Here we have the Gates of Purgatory, and this one is interesting because this piece looks like it would sort of be a standalone piece, less something that would be in a village necessarily, if that makes sense. But the piece actually sounds interesting because it says that it has this is from the website, vibrant illumination. Inside the cave, a spectrum of colorful lights, purple, green, and red, flicker, giving the impression of souls traversing through purgatory. So I think that it's very interesting in what they're doing here. And some of the pieces that they have done in the past have amazing lighting. and that's where there's no video right now of this, so it'll be really interesting to see what this looks like in person. But the way this looks, it sort of looks like, well, one, I guess it would be, you could potentially do it in a graveyard scene, depending. But it looks like this could be a standalone piece as well. So I'm really curious to see what this one looks like in person, because the alien piece they had last year had just insane lighting on it, and this one might be one that is similar to it. Just really need to see it in person or see a video of it. So, yeah, but it sounds very interesting. This is the Gates of Purgatory. So here we have Witch of the Woods. This is a very storybook-like piece. This one apparently has sound, has different pieces of lighting. The description of it actually says there's 10 lights that are on it, and it has sound. So this one has a lot of stuff going on, it looks like. And again, this looks like a storybook, like the piece is called Witch of the Woods, right? It looks like the Witch in the Woods house that you'd have in various stories. So I know witch pieces are very popular in general. This one looks like it's very thin and tall. Again, I'd want to see what this looks like in person, because as it is, it kind of looks like the witch would be gigantic here compared to the rest of the house. But there's a lot going on here as far as sound and animation, so it'll be interesting to see what it looks like in person. And witch pieces are always popular, so the more the better, I think. So it's smart that they're doing a witch piece this year. Here we have Madame Lenora's Tent of Wonder. This piece here it says swirling LED lights and an iridescent finish that captures the magic of Halloween nights. And for the materials, it is said it's durable polyresin and glass. So this one might be a nice little kind of standalone if you like the whole, like the fortune teller. There's a lot of details that are here. This one looks pretty cool, though. And I always like when there's different sort of features on it, and having like the globe over there that's emitting light and stuff. I think that's a cool feature. All right, last two here, we're going to talk about the carnival rides that they have up here. We have the Clown Car Corral as the first one here. It is a clown piece where I'm assuming the cars go around in a circle. I don't see that listed here on the website, but look at this is very much like the Killer Clowns from Outer Space, the vibe. And I do like the motif on it. And let's go to the other one here as well. This one is a spooky theme bumper cars piece, and it kind of has the middle there. It looks like where the cars go around. Again, I don't see currently listed here as animation. I'm assuming it's going to have that where the cars move around, kind of like how Lemax does with the magnets that move things around. Again, that's just an assumption on my part. I could be wrong here, just going off the website. But my thing, though, with their carnival rides, I'm just not big on how this company does carnival rides. I think the scale of them just kind of looks wonky compared to other stuff that's out there. So I think they'll work better kind of with, if you collect FG Square, if you keep them together, it makes a little more sense. But I'm not really down with the motif of their the carnival rides just in general, at least from what I've seen in the past. That could change in person, but that's just kind of my impression that's been based on previous ones I've seen and what these kind of look like here. So that's a collection, guys. Let me know what you guys think about these, just from the pictures, and I'm excited to see these in person later this summer and talk about them. At least one of the buildings I plan to get, probably the Door of Doom, but you never know what'll grab me in person. And glad this company is out there doing its thing, even if they're not maybe necessarily totally for me. I think it's cool that they're doing their thing and they continue to get their footing underneath them. I always rooting for another company in this space. It's really cool, cool to see. So, all right, guys. Hey, thank you so much for watching. It's nice to see all of you again here. Looking forward to, going at it hot and heavy once we get to the actual releases that start happening in like early summertime, typically. Looking forward to getting going with the new season of Spooky Villages. Thank you all so much. Thank you to Patreon subscribers. Thank you to all who subscribe, who like, who leave comments. I appreciate you all. Looking forward to getting back at it here soon. It's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.